and welcome to another edition of The Journey. What's the point? I guess this kind of question that creeps up on us in different times of life. And I know Scottie Scheffler, pro golfer, recently kind of brought that up. And, even after winning these majors and being number one in the world, he really brought that question up. What's the point? This doesn't always give me happiness. And when it does give me happiness, it's in short spurts. You win a tournament and, 10 minutes later it's over and you feel differently about it. And I really think that's, a moment of clarity for all of us. And certainly, a moment of vulnerability for him. But I think we all get in that spot sometimes. We spend a lot of our life chasing the next thing, promotions, retirement, kids' graduations, paying off the house, a dream vacation, whatever it might be. And then you get there and it's like, whatever. That wasn't really that great. The buildup was more than the actual event itself. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're broken people? No, it's just that we're human, right? Sometimes we build things up in our heads that how we're going to feel, and you're chasing that happiness that really, happiness is a feeling. It's not an event. And, having joy and gratitude, I think is that feeling that we're really looking for. And that doesn't happen because we get something, we achieve something, we buy something. That's not how it happens. It happens with joy and gratitude on a regular basis. And I think, those transition moments, when we're trying to find and define who we are, really happen when things change. We change jobs. Our kids become more independent, and sometimes leave the house or even get their license, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm losing that purpose. Your parents get older and you become their caregiver. Your health changes and you're having to do different things there. Or you're just restless in general, that midlife crisis. And I don't think that's a failure. I don't think that's something that should define us. It's just something that we need to transition and get through. And sometimes not knowing the answer is okay. I think there are times in lives where we don't know the answer for hours or sometimes months or sometimes years, and it makes us uncomfortable. But the truth is that's just part of life, and we don't always have the answer at that specific time. So how do we overcome that? How do we work through the restlessness that is transition, right? And I think it's really coming down to your foundations and your values and resting on that solid foundation. And that's faith. For me, that's faith. Maybe not for everybody. For me, that's faith. For me, that's family, although that's tougher sometimes than just saying that's family, because the dynamics of relationships within a family are hard sometimes too. And, learning other people within that family dynamic and learning, what drives them, or maybe just to listen to them better, is something that I need to get better at for sure, is to just be quiet and sit down and let it come to you rather than being boisterous and bringing it to them. Sometimes it's just spending time creating or busy work, right? It's a hobby. It's, a puzzle. It's those type of things that you just can kind of mellow out in. For me, sometimes that's mowing the lawn or doing lawn work that I don't need to think about. I just need to go do it. And it works off some of that nervous energy, I guess. But ultimately it's finding those relationships in your life and the value in your life that matters, and spending time in those places. So I think as we transition, it's not about the end event, because that event isn't typically the end. It's about really knowing who you are, finding some sort of purpose or value, and relying on that to help you through those times. And those purpose and values maybe change over time, but what gives you energy? Find those things that give you energy. Is it spending time with family? Is it mentoring somebody? Is it, like I said, just busy work and doing some things, which everybody's different. But, if you're going through one of those times in your life, certainly sit down, take some quiet time, find some direction on your own, and rely on the people that you know and trust to help you through that. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any feedback or want to talk through those things, we're always here. One of the things that gives me energy is having these conversations. And I don't have the answers all the time, but sometimes just talking through it with somebody can help. Thanks for watching. Have a great month.